Welcome to Code Jogging. In our previous video, we looked at how to migrate your HTML project to React project. So that's what we did in our previous video. And we said that in our next video, we are going to look at how we can allow users to navigate from one page to another in React. So that's what we are going to do in this video. Please subscribe to our channel. Okay, so let's continue. Um, For us to add the navigation to our project, there are some one or two things that we need to do. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to look at the basic way of adding the navigation to our system. Okay. After that, then we look at how we can add um, our custom navigations too. So we will just upgrade the basic navigation to our advanced navigation library or whatever we will add it to our project. So that's what we are going to do in this video. So let's go to our source code and then start adding some code to it. So now we've realized that if we switch to any page, let's see, we still get this page. We don't want something like this to happen. If the user switch to, let's say, registration, okay, let's say register, we want the user to see the registration form here. Or if the user click on this, we want it to happen. But when we started this project, we were using HTML tags. So we use HTML link tag to set up the navigation so that if the user click on registration, we just navigate the person to registration. The same thing applies to the forgot password too. That's what we did. Okay. But one funny thing is anytime the user click on a link, the entire page refreshes before the new page is being loaded. So we don't want that thing to happen. If the user click on the page or on a button or a link and want to navigate to a new page, we don't want the page to refresh, but we rather want to load the new page. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. So let's go to our project and then start writing our code. So what we are going to look at it first is let's create a directory for our components, that's our APIs, and then also our views. Okay, so we are going to create two folders here in our project. So the first project or the first folder we are going to create is the APIs. I will explain the reason why we are using two components here. And then the second component is going to be views. Okay, so um, inside the views, let's create auth or authentication. Okay, that's good. So let's copy this code and then let's paste it here. But let's rename it to login. Okay, so now we've renamed our copied file to login. The reason why I did this one because this one is the shortcut way of getting a copy of app.js file, because I don't want us to rewrite the whole login code again. No, we are not going to do that. So what we are going to do next is because we need the app.js, okay, to set as our parent file. So now, though our main parent file is the main.js, yes, we know that, but I don't want us to write all the codes in the main.js. So we are going to set this one as a, let's say, as a sub-parent file for our project. So that's the app.js. So what we are going to do next is, now, what do we need and what we don't need? Now we don't need these codes. Okay. And then you should also have to remove the background here. Okay. And then because if you have removed the background image, then have to remove the cover too. So now we have nothing to show here. So let's go back to our home page. Yes, we have nothing to show here. Okay, so now what we are going to do next is we are going to create our navigation. If you are using React 16, I think, yeah, 16 and below, there's a way of doing that, but we are not going to use that one. We are going to focus on the React 18. Okay, that's the current. I know it's 18 point something, but let's focus on the 18 plus going. Okay, so for us to do that, we have to first import our routes and then route. So let's import our routes, okay, and then route. Okay, so now this is how we can import our route. And I know that you are familiar with the route, the React hyphen router dot hyphen DOM. I know that you are familiar with because we used it in our previous video. Okay, so now what we are going to do is, with the help of these imports we've done here, we should be able to allow our user to navigate. Okay, so let's go to this page and then let's see how to use the routes. Okay, let's see how we are going to use our routes. Okay, so routes are perhaps the most important part of React Router app. Okay, so they coupled URL segment to components, data loading, and then data mutations. Okay, so what it's trying to say is, when we go to our project here, with the help of the route, we should be able to assign a link to a component so that if the user enter React, let's say registration page, for example, registration or login, then the person should be able to direct to a specific page. Or maybe the user wanted to go to home. Whilst the URL matches any of the links we provided in the route, then it loads its corresponding component on the browser. So that's the reason why we've imported these two codes here. That's the routes and then the route. So for us to continue, we have to type routes with a double tag here, and then we can call this route. This is what we use to assign the components. So route, then we close it as a single tag. There's a situation whereby you can use the double tag of route, but in this video we are going to use a single tag here. Okay, so the next thing we are going to look at is, let's provide the two mandatory fields. That's the path, okay, and then the element. So these are the two mandatory fields that you need to provide a data for. So now let's go to our login. I always want my VS Code to do the import for me. So let me change this to this. Okay, so now when we come here, we can type import login and then enter. Okay, then it does the rest for us. So now we can then call our components with less than, then the component name here, import this name that we need. Okay, and then it's a single tag. Okay, so then the path, we can set the path to login. Okay, so now let's refresh our page. Nothing is showing here. Yes, so let's switch to login, and then here we go. We are on the login page. So this one means that anytime a user click on a button, okay, anytime a user click on a link or whatever the URL contains and it matches this login, then it will load this. Okay, so this is how we can use route in our project. So for the sake of this video, let's create a home file too in our view folder. So let's create, okay, we will definitely use dashboard. So let's set our dashboard to this. Okay, so now we don't want our dashboard to be here. Okay, so let's create a new file, home. Let me see, home.jsx. Okay, it's not yeah, yeah. So now let's write our React code first here. Import then React. Okay, so let's create our class home extend react.components, and then let's give it a render function here, which accept 1 to 10. Then give it a note here. Okay, so now we can write our HTML here. Okay, and then we can provide a link here. Let's say let's use this one for now. So this one will be login, and then okay, login, and then this one will be register. Okay, so let's just set this one to flex height screen width screen items center justify center. Okay, so let's go back to our home page, and then let's see. So okay, fine. Now the next step you are going to do is, please, when you are arranging your routes, make sure that you let let's say the one that has let's say common data with the other route be at the bottom. Let me explain it, because here if you try to bring routes, okay, then let's end it. Let's provide the tabs here, okay, and then the element. Okay, so the element can be here, and then home. Oh, because we've not imported our home. Okay, so you have it here, home, and then let me check our code. Oh, sorry, we didn't export default home. Okay, so home. Then we can import our home here. Yes, we are good to go. So we can come here and then add our home to it. Okay, so let's have our home here. Yes, and then we are targeting the parent folder or the parent URL. So let's refresh our page. Now we have something like this. Then let me update some small quotes here. Okay, so let's update. Okay, and then let's add flex with then space. We are just providing space between the login and then yes. So justify center. Okay, yes. So now we have login and then registration. So let's try and then access login. Then we are good to go. Okay. So where is it? So let's go to this side. So it's advisable to make sure that we have this code below here. Okay. And since we know that our URL will always be login like this, you can add the exact so that okay. So let me show you the difference. So this one is exact. So if you try to add this, okay, it won't work. So if you remove it and then let's see, yes, it will still not work. So it's advisable to add exact to it. Okay, so that the URL will always match with the one we provided here. Okay, so we can go ahead and then do the same thing for the registration and then forgot password. Okay, so that in our next video we'll be looking at how we can upgrade our routes to our custom router in React. The simplest way of adding our custom router so that when the user click on something like this, the entire page won't refresh. Okay, because now when the user try to navigate like this, we refresh the entire page. No. So our next video, we are going to prevent the entire page from refreshing when we navigate from one page to another. Okay, so that's what we are going to do. In case you have any question, you can leave it at the comment section and we'll respond to it as soon as possible. And also, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. I've been saying it, subscribe, because we have a lot of content to provide. So please subscribe to our channel and also subscribe to our Telegram channels too. See you in our next video. Bye bye.